Good morning and happy Monday. Monday already. For some reason, I was really dreading Monday yesterday. Just kind of a somber day, you know. 9/11, which I think should be a federal holiday. I don't know why nobody ever got that memo. Do you guys think 9/11 should be a federal holiday? Which would mean everybody would be off work today. Well, most everybody. They would basically just make it a bank holiday. So just kind of it doesn't matter what you're trying to watch, you have a reminder of a horrible, horrible day. So, besides that, how was your weekend? Let's see. Just me's in here. Kane, Joanne. I was in here chatting before the show. I never get to chat, so I've been jumping in early, chatting. Queen of Ravens was telling me all about her coffee. DT's in. Crafty One. Freckles. Queen of Ravens drinks the death wish. She does. I think some people had a death wish yesterday because I could not believe the insanity that was sitting in my email yesterday. You guys would not believe this. I'll save it for the members live tomorrow. It was ridiculous. Wolverine, lip lock. What's up? There's Lone Wolf. What's up, my friend? Mora. Mora says, yay for me. I'm on a 6-hour journey home. Where you been, Mora? She goes, I get to stay for the whole live. Wolf Cat's in. We got Wolf Cat and Wolverine. Love it. Love it. Russian Aloha. Feels like she got abducted last night. She said her back is killing her. What the hell are you doing? What kind of freaky moves you got on that mattress? Did you do to your back? Hello, Marie. What's up, Rowena? Magoo's here. JTB. We were going back and forth yesterday about barbecue during the Chiefs game. Rockin' Robin made it in. Sonia. Sometimes Sonia doesn't get to catch the show because she's busy at work. There's Jen C. She's in here. Uli. Avi. Hopefully I catch everybody. If not, I'll get you in the comments later. Lisa and Chris are in here. So let me see. Pat's in. Michelle. Anyway, Starlight, where you been? I thought I saw you in here. Have I just been missing you in the comments? I hope not. Lucia missed that game. What game did you miss? The Chiefs? A lot of these early games are just blowouts. Like the last two Oklahoma games, it's like, man, I need to break a sweat watching these guys. It's just like they're playing like the local middle school or something. It's nuts. It's nuts. All right, so I hear over the weekend someone thought, not over the weekend, but on Friday, that there was a sighting of Summer. Was not Summer, as we know, was not Summer Wells. I guess someone on Facebook thought this child resembled Summer. Well, I think we know who wasn't concerned, and that was the one person whose heart didn't stop, and that would be her mother. Did anybody see Candace stick her nasty head out onto social media to say, oh my God, I'm on my way to Jonesboro, Arkansas right now to see if this is my child? Nope. I did say something about that when it was brought up to me. I got a lecture, guys. Always love the lectures. I do. Not a lot of real life going on these days where when you piss somebody off, you can tell it's coming because you can see their face kind of change. They go from what a stupid human being you are to just flat out irritated. We don't get a lot of that anymore. It's always phone, computer, so it's easy just to scoot to somewhere else on the internet when you cause a mess. But anyway, she got my attention. She said, who are you to judge? This is in my response to, well, it doesn't seem like Candace is too damn concerned. She said, who are you to judge? You don't know her upbringing. You don't seem to understand. She has fetal alcohol syndrome. She's uneducated. Have you ever thought that Candace is so overwhelmed by what she's going through that this is all she knows? This is how she knows to deal. No response needed. I decided to save it for today, and it fits in good with Mo-tabolism Monday. Mo-tabolism Monday. What's in your mo-tabolism? Because guess what wasn't in Candace's on Friday when the internet was going crazy thinking that maybe someone had spotted Summer? She had nothing to say. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Because she knows it could not be Summer. I think we have our answer. I think we have our answer. Her metabolism wasn't shook that day when people, and she don't think that people don't reach out to her. Oh, no, no, no. She already knows. You think if Brandy Neal heard that someone thought they saw Michael at a hotel anywhere, I don't care where it's at, she'd be the first one to want the answers, would she not? Whether you like Brandy or not, I'm not getting into that right now. The one person, not even getting into Candace anymore, I gave up on her for a little bit because today's all about you, Candace. Exactly, Laura. Just like Casey Anthony when they were saying they uncovered bones by the lake, even when they had sightings of Kaylee Anthony. Her grandparents were all, oh, thank God, oh, thank God, oh, thank God. Who didn't have anything to say? And this is when she wasn't in jail. Not talking about Casey Anthony when she was in jail. Casey Anthony had nothing to say. Well, why would you? Something like that's not going to surprise you because you know it can't be true. Candace knew it couldn't be true. She knew it couldn't be true. And it's not true. It was not Summer. Not that this lady lied or anything like that. Whatever child she came across, hopefully that child is not in any danger either. I hope that was checked out as well. I don't know the whole exchange or anything. So, but it was not Summer. Was not Summer, but we know who wasn't puzzled, curious. Oh my God, that could be her. Was Miss Abduction herself. It was an abduction that day. Candace Wells. Let's see what Candace's biggest fan is doing today. Hello, Muscles and Mascara.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I heard a little rumor. You want to hear
Mm,
it?
yeah, do please.
I heard. Now, this is just via a few comments that were screenshotted to me. No child in Hawkins County is safe. Have you checked on your child today? Muscles?
Oh gosh, I know, right? Yeah, we're all so incompetent here in Hawkins County that we can't raise our children here. So it was such news to me too, and it's so, I really challenge everybody to not say such uneducated and thoughtless comments because there's real people in Hawkins County that care about their children. I'm one of them. So if you think I'm not going to speak out on it, you're sadly mistaken because now you're accusing me of not being able to take care of my child. And I have a real problem with that. So you will hear from my opinion on that.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't bother you with that last night when it was sent to me. Um, I'm sorry I'm being a bad friend. I just didn't think you needed a reminder to check on your own child. But then I was like, maybe she doesn't know that
Yeah.
the internet has spoken again and that no child is safe in Hawkins County.
Yeah, it's my most favorite thing ever to listen to people throw out accusations they have no idea about, nor have they ever even stepped foot in Hawkins County. And you're making an accusation over parents who don't care about their children. Sure, but how are you gonna say that about the entire county? You got to be kidding me. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I would consider that quite the insult and quite the slap in the face.
Yeah, well, and everybody talks about there's all kinds of stuff going on in Hawkins County. There sure is, but have you looked at your own friggin' back door before you go out throwing a bunch of stuff out about everybody else? I'm not saying that Hawkins County is perfect because it's not, but tell me a county in this United States that is, please, please.
Mine sure as shit isn't. Um, no, that's a really dangerous thing to throw out there because all it takes is a couple of crazies. And I don't mean anybody in here because you know how I feel about you guys. You are cool AF. But it does take just a few crazies to say, no child is safe in Hawkins County. And you can just imagine what the Child Protective Services line looks like today because they read it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I apologize for my voice in advance, you guys. Sorry, I screamed too loud.
Were you yelling at your child?
Um,
Because no child is safe in Hawkins County.
You're right.
I
You're
read
right.
it.
No
I read it
child.
on the internet, muscles.
Yes, it's got to be true, right?
No,
Got to be
you
true.
were at a football game. Guys, don't even think that's true.
Yeah.
Supporting the local team, weren't you? Were there any
I,
children there that seemed in danger to you?
yeah, that's another thought is just screaming my guts out for the locals here. So yeah, I think everyone seemed to be in pretty good shape there. So again, I know that Hawkins County is not perfect, and that everybody thinks their own counties are just picture perfect. But trust me, they're not perfect. There's no place that is, and no person that is. So
No, there were some kids waiting outside today for the school bus. And I thought, well, you know what? I could park right here. But I don't, do I want to be the weirdo? Well, then here comes a mom running up. One of them had forgotten something. Okay. And I thought to
hmm
myself, if this had been videoed and put on the internet, she would have been labeled the worst mother ever. One, for letting her child forget something. Two, for leaving her children standing there waiting on the bus. You see what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
dangerous.
absolutely.
We
Yep.
have a can of worms that top is not going back on it anytime soon.
Exactly. Yep. Uh, and I don't know. It's just frustrating that, you know, one person or one case gets you labeled, as a parent. And as a parent, I have a right to speak out about it. I have a right, as a person who lives in the county, I have a right to speak out about it. Now, you can think the whole entire county is shit if that's what you want to think. But I have a right to speak out against it, and that's what I'm going to do. And there's a lot of things that's being said out here on the internet right now that are being said as facts, and no one can prove it. Like if it's a fact, then there should be a receipt behind it. And I've not saw receipts. I've heard a lot of accusations. I
Mhm.
hear a lot of speculations, which everyone is open and willing and can do, but you have to be responsible with your accusations and your speculations and tell people that they are speculations or your personal opinions because you don't have a receipt to prove it. So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on that they've been throwing out a lot of different things that I've seen and heard that are just, it's dangerous to throw that out to your audience and say this is facts, or not tell them that it's an opinion of yours or a speculation, that
Mhm.
it's just what you think by what you see. And that's unfair. It's an unfair judgment. And I don't, I think if people will just take a step back and say, what if this were me? How would I feel about this? Them saying this about us? I think that I think that it'd be a lot better off. And a lot of this speculation, you can't help but wonder, are people just throwing things out there because there's nothing to talk about? Okay. I mean, so you're telling me that Hawkins County is corrupt. Okay, maybe they are corrupt. All right. I mean, I'm not happy with how things have went either. But are you trying to tell me that the FBI is corrupt too? Are you trying to tell me the 100 plus entities that were here looking for Summer are corrupt? Are you telling me that a rescue squad stepped over top of Summer laying in the grass somewhere? I mean, seriously, people, get a grip. That is ridiculous.
You can also base your opinion on something. Back it up. This is, you know, I don't have to base my opinion on anything with Candace Wells, do I? I think we can all agree that we're almost 15 months in. Can you believe it? 15
No.
months. Today is September 12th.
Yeah, it's gosh, it makes me sick. Makes me sick.
I don't think I have to really prove it to you. We have her own words. We're going to hear a few clips of Candace's today in response to the beautiful email. A lot of it misspelled. She did tell me it was talk to text. I'm like, so you can't even talk right.
Talk to text. You still gotta read. You gotta read that stuff. Still, my God.
Talk to text. I'm like, oh, so you can't talk right. And oh, okay. I just thought you couldn't spell worth a damn, but you can't talk. Okay. I got all day for this. But no, I just
Yeah.
thought we'd go through it today. Not going to mention her name. Doesn't really matter who it is because we've all heard these lectures. We've all heard them.
Yeah.
Leave them
Absolutely.
alone. You can't judge them. You can't. Their child disappeared
Exactly. Yeah.
with Candace home, Grandis home. She does point out to us in the McDonough interviews that the last people to see Summer would be all three of her brothers. How convenient for you, Candace.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
convenient for you on Friday that you went about your day, whatever that entails, without even a peep to the people that reached out to you. I don't mean on social media. No concern that Summer could have been sighted. That's all we need to know, my friends. You can take that wandering off shit right off the table.
That's facts.
You can
That's
take it
facts.
right off the table today.
Yep.
Because, I mean, there was not one reaction out of her.
Yep. Amen.
You want to do some comments from the last show from me? With me?
Yes, let's do it. Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it. All right. The Gates of Dawn. Cool name. It's not just Gates of Dawn, it's Dawn dot 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 said, it smothers me. Was that some kind of slip? Wonder what will happen when Dawn gets out. Will he be going home with Candace Bly Wells? She said she's not in love with him. She loves him, but she's not in love with him. I've got a clip I'm going to play about that. What is everyone's prediction?
Sorry, somebody was trying to call me.
What
Yeah.
is everyone's prediction? What will the JR and Sue Ellen of Hawkins County be up to when he gets out of the clink next month? Got a month here. What will they be doing?
Oh gosh.
We
Yeah.
can only speculate, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And I tell you, the smothers me comment always stood out to me just so bad. I mean, it's one of those things where, it was her conscience talking before she could shut it down. She told us, did she tell us the truth? It certainly makes you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly does. And then it's going to be a complete circus when Dawn gets out. I mean, we all know it is. It's just going to be crazy, and it's just going to, my fear is that it's yet again going to be another distraction because everybody's going to be wanting to interview him, and how do you feel about what Candace said and all this stuff, and it's just going to be another distraction away from Summer, just like everything else. Every time something close has happened or whatever, or nothing has happened at all, that's when everybody starts their speculation and they start, pulling at strings at trying to have something to talk about. And here we are. It's going to happen right all over again.
We can only speculate on that, Muscles. Wouldn't be the damnedest thing if they have their big connection at what I understand appears to be an overgrown jungle at 110 Ben Hill Road. Welcome home, Dawn. We've all missed you. If they don't go right back to drinking, raising money on the internet, and somehow don't go back to Dr. Phil or go on some kind of love, re-love connect honeymoon.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I I think the only thing I just worry that it's all going to be distractions because golly, Can you imagine what that place even looks like at this point? Like I've not went down there for a reason. I can only imagine what that place looks like at this point because obviously nobody cares enough to keep it up while he's been away. So, and then Candace has fell in love with somebody else or fell out of love with Don or whatever her excuses are. So it'll be interesting.
Well, she was on those dating apps for a while because, she's nothing but guided by her moral compass. She can't tell a lie, and she's certainly not going to do Don dirty while he's in jail.
Huh.
Because was she like on Plenty of Fish or something? And she was after that. She was interested in that one guy, Sunshine Boy 420.
Yeah, I swear.
I
You
felt
can't
bad
even.
for Sunshine Boy. I was like, I hope Sunshine Boy doesn't have kids because we know how she treats her own offspring. Imagine if she was a step parent.
Exactly. Exactly. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Laura thinks Dawn's sister Sonia will come get him.
Well, that's a possibility. It's a good possibility.
Because someone would have to, unless Dawn's just going to sit there in it, get the house. I don't know that he even cares. Jail's nicer than what he has to go back to. No, I'm not feeling sorry for Dawn. I'm just stating the obvious. From what I was told, and this has been weeks and weeks ago, okay, that you can't even hardly see the house. I mean, the Johnson grass would be almost as tall as Dawn right now. I mean, it's that insane. The inside would just be infested right now. I mean, they already had that wolf rat problem and the German roaches and stuff.
Yeah. Imagine what it looks like now. Ugh. Yeah, I'm sure Candace didn't do any boxing up of items and stuff like that before she left. So
Well, let's get to before I get to the rest of the comments, I do have a clip. This was, I believe, I've had this clip forever and a day. Candace was talking to Cam and Allie. Hang on one moment.
awesome.
I'd say I love him, but I'm not in love with him anymore. Right. And I'll do anything for him because he's the kid's dad. But I cannot keep going the way I'm going. If that makes sense. Yeah, look. And if you feel like that you will be in a better position for the boys and for summer and for yourself, sometimes you have to do that. Yeah. And that's hard. I mean, that's a hard thing. Donnie's gonna hear this at the end of this, but it doesn't even matter. I love Donnie to death. He's my kid's dad. Hold on, Cam. Let me get this out. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Please let me get this out. I love Donnie to death. I love him because he's the kid's dad. But as far as being in love with him anymore, I am done. He just doesn't understand.
She's just done. Did you hear that okay?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
She's just done.
Yep. She's just done.
Now, mind you, she's done with Dawn, okay? I'm just done. He's the kids' dad. Someone had a question. How does she feel about the father of her other children? The same way she feels about the other children. She's just done. That's how she feels. But now when there was a possible sighting of Summer on Friday, she had nothing to tell the internet, did she? But she made sure to let everybody know she was single and ready to mingle last spring, now wasn't she?
Yeah, she definitely was. And that's why she's just done. I mean, I'm trying to put my thought together, Brooks. Oh, is she done because he's not there to provide his income anymore. And the moment he gets out, she's going to go crawling back to him. I just don't see that. She's going to be done with him when he's able to speak again. You know what I mean? Like when he's able to reach a public platform or talk to people or whatever. Is that when she's going to be not done with him again? Of course you're done with him when he's locked up because you can't do anything with him. He's locked up. But the moment he gets out and you need some money, I mean, how are you surviving, Candace? I mean, that's the question. How are you surviving? I don't understand it. I mean, I truly don't.
I think Tim Mullen is getting her money somehow.
I think you're right.
I think that'd be the only person that would make sure she's got a belly full of nicotine and R&R whiskey. I think that's the only one that cares. And we know there's an agenda there.
Absolutely. And somebody's keeping her up. And shame on you, whoever it is what I've got to say. Because I'm trying to figure out why she thinks, or anybody thinks, that she deserves to be kept up like that. What makes her any more special? Get out and get you a job, Candace. Well, nobody will hire her because of all this stuff that's going on. Well, that's not our problem either. That's Candace's problem. She's the one that was been a pathetic mother from the word go. And why can you say that as a fact, Jessica? You were just talking about everybody. You can't do that. Well, I can say that because she's lost 7 children. So she's just made that accurate, in my opinion.
Or 6. We can't verify the child that was put up for adoption. And if she did do that, it's the only child she's ever done right by.
Facts.
That's the only child that she's ever done right by. If she truly, I don't see Dawn partying with one of these children, though. That's always been my question about that. We'll save that for another show. That just popped in my head.
Yeah, would definitely be a good, another good conversation for sure.
That's another one.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get back into what her plans are. Especially one thing that ties into Mo-tabolism Monday.
And what I feel.
Right. Yeah. Well,
I love him. I love him to death. No, Cam, this has nothing to do with you or Allie.
No, I didn't. No, I wasn't saying that. I was talking. I said I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get in between. You go ahead. That's what I was saying.
No, you're not. You're not in between. You're not in between. But I'm letting you know how I feel about the whole script.
Right.
How I feel about the whole script. Now, let me ask. I've asked it on the show many, many times. This question will come back again. And your answer can change 50 times a day, like many of us does. Who wrote the script? Would it be Candace, Grandis, or Dawn? And it's a 2-part question. Who on this earth would Candace cover for, knowing that covering for someone could land her in jail?
Gosh, I have so many different ways to go to go with that. I think they all. Here's my opinion, because I'm going to state it as an opinion and not a fact. I think they all had a part in the script. Personally, I think there's more players to the script. And Candace, how you feel about the script? I just want to look at her. Oh gosh, I couldn't do face to face, I don't guess, but I just want to look at her and say, you don't know how you feel about the script. Why is there a script, Candace? I mean, it's so frustrating, and it's so funny that you opened the show with saying I'm the biggest fan. That was awesome. This lady absolutely chaps my ass to say what I want to say. She literally does. I can't take it. I can't stand her voice. I have praised the Lord that she's not been on this freaking platform anymore, because this lady is just absolutely is one of those voices that you hear and you just cringe, and people may think that about mine, but that's okay too. But the more I hear her voice, it just makes me sick,
The script. I wasn't comfortable with the script. I love him, but I'm not in love with him. And no, no pity party for Dawn. Don't even twist it. Back to the comments. Sunflower said a few days ago, no way. She said, Candace thinks of Candace. Candace thinks of Candace. No way would Candace stick her neck out to cover for Dawn, to cover for her own mother, or even, she says it, her boys. Candace would never. Let's look at what we were shown on Friday. Many, many people went live. I did not because I wanted verification. That's okay. That's okay. We do things our own way here. What I was waiting for was Candace to pop on some platform somewhere and say, of course, a Cash App would be involved. I've got to get to Jonesboro. That could be summer.
Yeah. 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 God forbid, right?
It wasn't in the script, Muscles.
No, it was not. It was not in the script. And they can all take that script and shove it right up their hind ends is what they can do with it. Because I do. I think that there was some obviously there's a script. She's telling us there is, right? I mean, we're not making an accusation about there being a script. She's saying there is a script. So, I mean, we're just using their own words. So, we can speculate as to who all was involved with it. But my opinion is they've all had a part. There's been some underlying script that's been laid out there for them, and they've added to it whatever suits themselves is what they've been doing. So,
oh, you bet. And not to mention, okay, Grandis had nothing to say. We know that she knows how to use the internet.
yeah.
Good old Robin, there was no, I mean, nothing was said at church or anything. This could be Summer Wells. We had some hope that it was. No, I'm not blaming Robin. I find this to be odd behavior, though. Media manager has had nothing to say.
No. And you saw how quickly the church backed away from everything, right? I mean, what if they truly were part of that church? And I'm not saying they weren't. I mean, I don't know. We can speculate, right? But they quickly backed away from this whole entire thing. You don't see anything of them anymore at all. And that should speak volumes. It does to me. I've yet to hear, the parents or either one of them say anything about, we really appreciate, and I think there was maybe some comments made towards it, but, for me, if it was my child, and God forbid, if it was my child, I would be constantly thanking law enforcement, rescuers, whoever it was, FBI, TBI, whoever. Thank you for what you had done. However, but you don't get on there and plead. You don't get on there. You don't do anything but just sit back in silence and want to know why people attack you. People are attacking you because of A, how you've acted, B, because your script sucks and there's holes all in it, and C, because you have a script.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people are after you. So it's so obvious.
Yeah, and they're really not after you per se. I mean, there might be some that are a little extreme.
Yes.
Where is your little girl?
Yes.
You seriously went back to bed? You called Allie?
Yeah.
You called Hunter to get Allie on the phone instead of running around your own property looking for your daughter. Then we go to Friday. They're a sighting of Summer Wells, Jonesboro, Arkansas. They're convinced, but she wasn't even curious.
No, she wasn't.
Curious.
Not at all. Wasn't curious at all. In the least, wasn't curious.
Mm-mm.
And that speaks volumes. I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
She actually said she was going to go get some sleep that night because they had to get up to take their polygraph. Are you friggin' kidding me right now? So what you're saying is that you slept like a baby, probably because you were torched out of your gourd. But you were able to sleep at night with your child missing, not knowing where she is. And the rest of the internet and world, or a lot of us, couldn't even lay our head down at night. Still have a hard time laying our head down at night knowing that this young lady's missing and nobody knows where she is. You fussed about the noise that was being made while they were looking for your child. It is appalling what these people have said. That it screams to all of us, that they've got to be somewhat involved or something, because they don't care. They've never pleaded to the public. They've never pleaded. Never. They've never shed a tear that I can see. The only tear that we've ever thought that might be shed or sounded like she was crying on was the fake hoax call. Okay, well, that was fake, so we know that wasn't true. And or when she's been online talking about stuff and she sounds like she's crying. But have we ever saw tears roll from her face? I've not for her child. If you've seen her cry, it's been because she's scared of her own demise, not because of her child missing. There's a big difference.
Yeah, because they said she was beside herself upset when they put her in the back of the cop car to take her downtown to talk to her the night of June 15th, 2021. We saw her. There's a picture on the thumbnail of her coming unglued when the hard questions were being asked. Like I said, face to face. Now, if she's behind a keyboard, she's cool as a cucumber. She might tell you to go to hell, but that's pretty much it. Confronted, she loses it.
Exactly.
Confronted face to face. Something we're missing in this society, if you ask me. Confronted face to face, she can't hold it back. There's no help for me.
Exactly. That was perfect.
Not helping her.
Oh, it's perfect.
Not helping her. Mom to 4 says, don't forget. Now we're going back to someone that cannot tell a lie. Okay, we're talking about Candace here. The one that says, Summer was abducted, even though she jumped in the truck to go look for her.
Yep.
She looked under a mattress, which was on a concrete floor.
Yeah.
Okay, Summer's a little bitty thing, but I can't imagine Summer squeezing under that.
Yeah. Exactly.
A couple of blankets, looked outside the door, and then basically just told her mom, Summer's been abducted. There's Candace going, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah. Summer's been abducted, but hey, boys, run down to the creek to see if she's there. And Grandma, stand at the top of the hill up there and pray that nobody takes them too. You are both oh my God. Oh my God.
I still think when they sent the boys down to the creek is when she made her second trip. The TBI pinned her down and said, we know you left 2 more times that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in our huge time gap, she will not address the 2 times she left. She'll address looking for Summer, but there's another time she won't. Now, a lot of people say, which actually makes more sense than what I said, the first time was to hide Summer. The second time was to pretend to be looking for her.
It's a good point. Very good point. And a very good possibility. Very good possibility. I mean, what else were you doing? You know what I mean? I mean, I do think that sending the boys, if in fact that's a true statement, we don't even know if that's true or not, but if it's true, we know that Jody Sue says she saw him. But again, if we know it's true, if they were technically at the creek, it is definitely for distraction to keep them away while they were doing whatever in the heck they were doing. There's no doubt about that.
Well,
Totally feel that way.
All 3 of the boys lined up at the table, supposedly playing Minecraft, watching YouTube, or something silly on TV. We've heard, different things. All right, I'm done with that. So we have all 3 of them lined up like little toy soldiers. Then we send all 3 to the creek. How come we always have to have the boys' backs turned? Yet we tell McDonough the boys were in charge of watching Summer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And how dare you do that to those kids? How dare you? Haven't you done enough to them? I mean, seriously. Now
Well,
you want,
I think it goes back to the Candace only cares about Candace.
that's facts. That's exactly right.
I think that's what it goes back to. Can't care Candace. She didn't care on Friday.
You're exactly right. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She just cares about herself. I mean, there's no other explanation as to why they behave the way they do. Obviously, they just care about themselves. I mean, that's all it is.
Mm-mm. Then you have all of these people. A woman I worked with, I can't even tell you how much money she spent doing the in vitro fertilization. And
Yes.
when she found out none of the eggs took, you saw, I mean, this woman was crumbled.
Mm.
Crumbled. Then we have Candace. I mean, be careful. Any man that coughs on her, that woman is pregnant
Yeah, for real.
and takes care of none of her children. I saw a comment in here where someone had another lecture we have going on because our memories are short, so we forget everything that's gone on. Okay, fair
Right.
enough. We're here to remind you. Where it was said there is Summer was not neglected or abused. That if you look through these pictures that we've seen on Facebook, she's got like 12 profiles, Candace does. It depends on what flavor you want today. Candace Bly, that's done with Dawn. Candace Wells, happily married. Anyway, there's tons of pictures out there.
Mm-hmm.
They've got tons of presents. She's seen plates of food. Kind
Mm.
of like what I got yesterday. She's missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The FBI card unit said there is no abduction. So either she wandered off, which I give up on that considering the reaction we got on Friday.
Yeah.
They said
Exactly.
she wasn't abducted, which that's the hard sell that Candace, Dawn, and Grandis have for us.
From day one.
Or somebody there, to use Candace's words, got her gone.
Yeah. Wow. You know, you're right. I've forgotten a lot about this stuff. It's, yeah. She just doesn't care about anybody. I mean, she doesn't care about anybody in the story. I mean, that's just the way it is. She could care less about anybody. And oof, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go somewhere after this, Brooke. You're bringing up some old feelings. Shoo.
You may have to take a drive and go see what Ben Hill Road looks like right now.
Yeah, no kidding. And you know what? I don't understand how people can say no neglect or whatever the terms that they're using when you can see the decline in that young lady's health through pictures that she herself has posted. Like there is a serious decline in the way that young lady looks. I don't care about her hair. You know, everybody talks about her hair. I mean, I care about her hair, but that's not what I'm saying. That I attribute the decline to. The decline that I attribute to is look at the black underneath her eyes. You can see how that looks. You can see how her facial expression. Yes, kids, um, put on weight and then they get skinnier as they grow up. And, I know all that stuff, but her demeanor in pictures, you can see it in her eyes. And if you can't see that, then you're choosing not to see it because it's obvious. It is so obvious, in my opinion. But her poor little eyes make me so sad every time I see them because you can just see it in her eye. You can just see it. You can see it. And we know their living conditions. Their living conditions alone are enough for neglect. I don't care who says what. You can come argue with me all day long about that. You can be dirty and you can be messy, or you can be messy. You can be poor. You can be whatever and still not live in conditions like that. Like if you're good with living with wolf rats and roaches, that is neglectful to children. Sorry, not sorry. You can have roaches and you can have rats and you can clean them up and you can do this and you can do that. But there was none of that occurring. That's the point. None of it.
No. And of course, the elephant in the room, you look under a couple of blankets. Now, we know none of this happened. We're just playing along, Candace. You look under a couple of blankets, a mattress that is laying on a concrete floor.
Yeah.
You look outside the door, and that's all the looking you did. Some people will say, no, she searched all afternoon, and that's the reason she waited till 6:30 p.m. to call. Not according to Sheriff Lawson. He said, why don't you
No,
ask her why she waited so long to call?
exactly.
Why don't you ask Leslie with TBI that says she disappeared early afternoon? We got the call at 6:30 p.m. Some people will fight with you about what early afternoon means. It doesn't mean 6:30 p.m., my friends.
Sure doesn't. It sure does not. So, and listen, I've heard, I heard too that um, people were pissed off over law enforcement talking about not bringing any further supplies and stuff during the search. And I would just like to challenge everybody to, or just like for everybody to just stop and think about that. Yes, they had asked for supplies for people to hold off on providing any more supplies. And that's because our community, that you can't raise a child here safely, keep in mind, please. Our community came together in such a fashion that there was so much stuff being taken up there to support the searchers, to support the rescuers, to support law enforcement, to help find this little girl, because they did not want a bunch of people trampling through the woods, because that's where they truly felt she could be at that given point in time. Not because she was abducted and taken out of freaking state, but there was so much of an outpouring of support because we can raise our children safely here, that there was no other place to store the stuff at. Please keep in mind that they have command posts. There's only so much stuff they can do with all of that stuff. So please stop with these stupid accusations that law enforcement cut off supplies because they were in the freaking involved in the disappearance of Summer Wells. I have literally had enough of the accusations at the people of Hawkins County. Stop when you don't know. Have you ever been here and you ever seen it for yourself? Yeah, you've been to Ben Hill Road. Well, guess what? That's a small piece of freaking Hawkins County. Hawkins County, in case people don't realize, is a 500 square mile county. It is massive. Okay, so yes, it is a isolated. It might be a poorer county. Everybody wants to talk about how poor it is because God forbid that people have that live in an area that's not New York City. I mean, God forbid, right? We all live in New York City. I forgot. But you're going to sit back and throw stones at glass houses over people who said, don't bring no more supplies here because right now we don't have a place for them. And furthermore, I wasn't trying to feed Dawn and Candace Wells. I can talk about this because I helped get supplies. Not that I need anybody to pat me on the back for that, because I don't. Don't need that either. However, I can speak to it because I was here. You can't speak to it and speculate on it because you think that law enforcement's corrupt and didn't want people there supporting. I'm sorry, you cannot do that, and you cannot do that and feel good about doing that, or nor should you. Sorry, I had to have that rant moment.
Were you there when Candace was coming down and getting supplies for the searchers and taking them back to her house?
I wasn't there, but I do know about 50 others that were. So I have a hard time feeling that 50 people lied about that aspect. So,
Oh no,
you know what?
I've heard it from too many people.
Exactly. And I would be fine if I knew they were taking those snacks and drinks and stuff like that back to them kids. That's perfectly fine. But I never did know if they took them to them kids or not. I can speculate because they let them fight over a can of soup, supposedly. So I can speculate.
There
But
you go.
you can't come at me with something like that and say that that's the reason why. It was because it's part of sketchy behavior from law enforcement. Come on. I mean, stop grasping at straws.
They do need to do more. They need to put a task force together or get an on-site agent there to get the ball rolling.
Totally agree. And I won't argue that at all.
This week, we're coming on 15 months. 15 months.
I won't argue that at all. I won't argue that at all. And lip lock, I see her message. I don't know what happened to the $435,000. Do we have a receipt that shows that they for sure received it? I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. But what I do know is that this place cares, and there's people in this community that cares. And I'm really tired of everybody throwing everybody in this county under the bus that we don't care, because it's not true. That is not a factual statement. You can feel that way about certain individuals within law enforcement. I don't have a problem with you feeling that way. I have my feelings too. But that you can't come at the whole friggin' place and say this whole town is corrupt, because we're not. I think I've been on this platform long enough that people on here that know me know good, damn, and well how much I love that young lady and how much I want her found and how much I have tried to do to try to be in support as much as I possibly can. I have done everything I know to do. But it's never good enough. It's all corrupt. Everything.
Well, I see a lot of corruption with Candace.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one that wasn't there, he was at work all day, yet he's sitting in jail for a violation of probation. Where's Candace? Is she in Wisconsin? Because I heard that JLR was looking for
her. Well, that's
Tim,
a whole other one.
he runs the media site, and he said nothing. I didn't check it today. Nothing about someone citing Summer. So he knows it's true too.
Absolutely.
That it couldn't have been her. He knows Allie. Don't even get me going on Allie. We've got Jody Sue. We've got people who have opened their mouths thinking that we were going to say, oh my God, thank you for telling us about that. You poor dear, what you've been living with. Told us what they have witnessed and did nothing about. Gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Let's get you some more nuggets of information from Candace, shall we?
Sure.
I don't know about Jackie Dodd. I've just heard about him. I don't know about Jody Stu. Jody, I've talked to Jody Stu time and time again. And every time she talks to me, her story has changed.
Like in how?
Okay, like, for instance, like, she said that she was down on the bottom after she heard somebody scream or whatever. She was never at the bottom of that driveway. I drove down there faster than she could fucking fly.
Okay. So she said, so the scream, of course, is out of the question now, right? There was no scream, right?
There is no scream, dude. She's maced all that shit up.
How would Candace not know there's a scream? Now, for one, I'm going to tell you there wasn't. And no, I wasn't there. The only thing I can agree with Candace on is when she says, Jody has changed her story so many times. Jody is the Sammy Smith of this case. Well, actually, Sammy Smith is the Jody Sue of the Kylie Rodney case.
Yeah. And that's the truth. There's a lot of similarities, that's for sure.
Why? I can't lie. It's not in my metabolism.
Don't you question her ass.
Oh my God. Not in her metabolism. Whew.
Don't you dare question her. Here,
Oh.
I want you to understand. Here we go.
I can't lie. It's not in my metabolism.
Okay.
Ernie said okay, so Ernie believes it. That's on Ernie's.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how Ernie kept it together. I'd have been like, oh, I'm out.
Oh gosh. Metabolism. There's just, this case is just, it's sickening. I tell you, it's so frustrating.
I do think they will find Summer eventually, and that's what's going to blow it wide open. I really do, because they have no physical evidence, and they can't make heads or tails out of anything they're being told by them. And the den of thieves that they have circling them, they're not credible. Jody Sue hears a muffled scream. How? Yet her son in the same sentence says it was animalistic. Well, animals can't cover their mouths.
No.
Then it was a shrieking shrill or something like that. Well, you said muffled.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
And
Many other cases where they say, and neighbor heard scream, not Jody Sue, I'm talking about other cases, neighbor heard scream around 1 p.m. They bring it up in court. Don't worry, you're not going to hear anything Jody Sue had to say when this finally goes in front of a box of 12 people. You're not going to hear anything because she has lied and lied and lied. She's another big deterrent in this case that has slowed down justice for Summer Wells.
you're absolutely right. Amen to that. That's all she's been good for. That's all she's been good for. And I just want people to understand the frustration. We get it that everybody is mad and frustrated over this case. We are too. We are. And I have seen several different a couple of comments that was put in the chat about the county commissioner meeting minutes. I understand that the meeting minutes state that there was money approved. My point is, do we know the money was ever given? That's what I'm trying to say about a receipt. I don't know. I want to know, but I don't know. I've never seen where it was allocated. I know that it was put in words that that's where it was supposed to go, but did it make it? I don't know. And then I saw that this whole ambulance thing, or this truck that broke down, and there's just all this different stuff people are fussing about, and kind of talking about Tim Coop and what he did for the search, and oh gosh, that one bothers me a lot. I'll just tell you, because I know that man personally, and that bothers me to know.
Well, that's why we're going to go back to the basics. The basics are what Candace told us about June 15th, which that bucket holds no water. Don's saying they don't have shit. There's no evidence. When he spoke to Jeff Bobo on June 18th of 2021, this is very, 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 very early on, when we're all thinking they're going to find her in the woods in a couple of days. That was the common conversation. You can go back and listen to my early shows about Summer Wells. My first show was June 16th, 2021. Very short show. We didn't know very much. He tells Jeff Bobo. Jeff Bobo brings up, he goes, I can't believe somebody would fly blindly into the holler and just grab a child. He goes, you and me both, buddy. Then he brings up Rose Bly. He goes, and Candace has a sister that's missing? Don's exact words. We're going to listen to it. Not today. He goes, they never found her either, buddy. They never found her either. The assumption was already out there. June 18th of 2021, she would not be found. I think we can connect the dots why there wasn't a concerned parent flying like she claims she did on June 15th to Jonesboro, Arkansas to see if that was her daughter. She doesn't have to, because she knows.
Exactly.
Nope. She knows. She knows.
You're exactly right.
Well, I appreciate getting to catch up with everybody on Summer Wells. I've got another show coming up about Summer, I believe Wednesday morning. I got to go back and check it because I've got to run to a meeting. I'm actually cutting myself. I didn't mean to cut the show short because it's a very, very important show to do. So we're going to pick up on this on Wednesday. Then I have some things I want to go over about Dawn. I want everybody's memory to be extremely fresh for when the new and improved, Christ-like, reformed Dawn comes walking out of jail next month, because that's the person we're going to be seeing on YouTube. But we're going to remember what we're really dealing with.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I've got to jump too. So thank you for doing this. And I'm not trying to be whatever to everybody in chat either. I just want everybody to realize, we're not all terrible people here. So
you're in good company here, my friend. When I get done with all this stuff before the next show, I'll give you a call.
That sounds good, hon. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Muscles and Mascara. She's been working so hard on the case of Summer Wells, just like all of you. We are not going to give up on Summer Wells, even though we haven't had an update since I'd say roughly June 17th of 2021. That's where we stand with this. Never going to let Summer go. Never, never, never. So I'm going to run off here. Hate to keep it so short, but duty calls. I will see you guys back here, though, at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Hit your reminders. And thank you for being the best chat and the best community on YouTube. It's you guys. It is you guys, every one of you. See you back here in a few hours. Bye-bye.